Oh,
hi everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to be or not to be. Choose your own Danish. I mean Danish adventure.
Thanks, Scott. Last night I was like, do I need to pick up Danish before we get there? My blood sugar's high today. I don't want Danish.
If you don't know what we're talking about, last night during the variety show, Scott Mason, who's our president, introduced this to remind everybody about it today, and then he called it Choose Your Own Danish, which was pretty hilarious. We thought we would have Danish today, but
right. But then I said no. I was going to bring them. Yeah. So anyway, no, but it's actually Choose Your Own Adventure, Hamlet style, and it's written by some guy.
Ryan North.
Ryan North wrote this. Like, if you remember the Choose Your Own Adventure books from when I was a kid or a teenager, or I don't remember when, it was in the past somewhere. This is that, but with Hamlet. So we're gonna go ahead and read it, and we'll have you make the choices. So you'll type that in the chats there. So just want to let you know, though, one of the reasons we're doing this is because it's due more 24, which is fun, right?
It's fun.
Yeah. And then do you want to talk about the quick things? We're selling things.
We are. First of all, I think you might want to know who we are, because I mean, we're famous, but you might not know. So I'm Michelle Cullen. I'm on the board at Chapel Street. I'm Vice President of Artistic Production, and this is my close friend.
Hi, Judy David, and I got off the board, but I'm still the chair of, what did I call myself now? Personal Liaisons Officer. But basically, I'm the one who has to tell you, hey, wear some deodorant. It's not the fun job. You don't want it. Yeah. And so, but we've both been involved in Chapel Street forever and ever. And we're really excited about the move, which is going to cost money.
Which is sort of the reason why we're here. We're here to entertain you and to have some fun. But it is also to help get money for us to move. So we are doing this, and hopefully you will be willing to give us a few dollars. As Judy said, there is part of Do More 24. They have different competitions each hour, and there is one going on from 12 to 1. So if you can donate money, that would be great. And you could divide it up and donate multiple times. Each one has to be at least $5 to count as the donation.
Right. And then it's, yes, because it's technically, it's the Fuel Up Power Hour. So hopefully you're eating some lunch or, some Danish. And then when we get to the place where we're going to choose where we're going next in the adventure, we'll ask you really quick to type in your votes. But if you donate money, the first person to donate money in each vote will get to pick. We'll do whatever they want.
That's
okay.
Right.
So we're not ashamed to sell ourselves out like that. That's what theater is. So anyway, all right. So let's start off. Okay. Michelle's going to start.
All right. So you have just been born. Congratulations. Good work on that. Now, surprise, babies are boring. So we're going to jump ahead in time to a point where you're an adult and you've already lived a bunch of your life. But I promise most of what we're skipping over is really dull. You ate a lot, you slept a lot, you made some friends, tears were shed, makeouts were totally had, etc. It was a bunch of high school stuff, and the awesome stuff starts now. So let's begin. Remind me again who you are. Are you Ophelia? She's an awesome lady in her late 20s with a calm, competent, and resourceful demeanor. She's got a +1 bonus to science, but she's also got a -1 weakness against water. So heads up.
All right. Or, it goes this way?
Yes.
Or are you Hamlet? He's an emo teen in his early 30s. Also, he's the Prince of Denmark. Hamlet has a +1 resistance to magic, but there's no magic in this adventure, so this never gets mentioned again as of right now. Or are you Hamlet Senior? He's the king of Denmark, 50 years old. He's super good at fighting and leading men into battle and naps. Let's say +1 to each. So look, bottom line, he's an unstoppable machine of death, and should you choose to be him, you may experience kingly glory. So now's when you vote. Let's type in O's for Ophelia, H for Hamlet, and an S for Hamlet Senior. Again, O if you want us to read Ophelia's story, H if you want us to read Hamlet's story, and if you want to be Hamlet Senior, type in an S. And remember, if you give us some money, we'll let you pick first. Go ahead.
Otherwise, we'll pick the one who got the most votes.
Right.
And if you don't vote, then we pick. So,
Right.
but yeah, anybody who gives money wins out.
Yes. So
And while you're typing, we would like to tell you that we have currently raised, since we started this yesterday evening at 6 p.m., Chapel Street has raised $3,795, which is pretty amazing. Since a lot of that was overnight. So we are hoping to get to 10,000. That is really our goal. So anything that you can give during this hour would be great. And you know, if you give $5, you get to pick.
Yeah.
So do you want to be Ophelia or Hamlet or Hamlet Senior?
A king among men. That would be awesome. All right. So we haven't had any responses. So we're going to roll the die instead. Now we don't have a regular die. We only have a Catan die.
Catan, because you know
that's what we play. We're geeks.
We're geeks. We play Catan.
All right. So that's a rock.
It's rock,
which
and
we
rock
said would be
is
2.
Rock is 3.
Rock is 3. All right. We're playing as Ophelia. Woman power.
Senior.
Oh, we're playing as Hamlet
Aren't we
Senior.
Senior. Wasn't it?
No, you're right.
Hamlet
You're right. We're playing as Hamlet Senior.
We can do this again. We'll come
We'll
back.
come back. Maybe we'll just make poor choices and die soon.
Okay.
Your turn.
So you are King Hamlet. All of Denmark is under your command. Everything's going so great for you. At present, you are in Norway, where just this afternoon you led Denmark's forces to an astounding victory, during which you personally killed the Norwegian king. Stabbed him right through the head, you did. His eye popped out and rolled onto the ground, and you stepped on it. Whoa, your ass bad. You are a badass. You decide after a day of being good at fighting, you should have a nap. Of course, who wouldn't? You earned it. You settled down in an orchard for some nappy times. During your delightful rest, your brother pours some poison in your ear, and you die. Surprise, you didn't know poisons work that way. Wow, you barely made one choice so far, and you're dead already. Way to go, champ. You're really good at books, huh? It's just a stellar job you're doing here reading already.
So now what? Do we go back to the beginning? Oh, wait. Okay.
Okay. We only got to make one choice. Fine. I feel sorry for you. Here's a chance that you can choose.
You can become a ghost or do not become a ghost. So that's just a simple yes or no answer. Do you want to be a ghost? Type in a Y. You don't want to be a ghost? Type in an N.
Well, it seems as though we do have someone who donated money. So Scott Mason donated money. So he gets to choose. So Scott, do you want to become a ghost or do you not want to become a ghost? Your choice. So we'll wait.
Money wins. Money speaks.
We need the Jeopardy theme that goes do 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 do. I'm sure it's copyrighted or something.
Oh, but I'm off key, so it won't matter.
Okay.
Ghost or not to be a ghost? Bean. It's a 20-second delay, Brian says. So while we're telling you that, we raised $3,795 until Scott donated. So now we've raised $3,800. Yay! He wants to be a ghost. Excellent. Thank you. Become a ghost. Good news. The afterlife exists and it's full of ghosts. You know this because you're now one of them. You get to spend all your time slamming doors, rattling chains, and telling on the person who killed you. But here's the thing. I, the author, told you, the reader, that your brother poured poison in your ear while you napped. But you, as Hamlet Sr., have no idea how you died. You slept through the whole thing. So you need to figure out who killed you if you're going to revenge yourself on your murderer, assuming you even were murdered. Because remember that for all you know, you could have died of a heart attack. This is an example of dramatic irony, only since we're in the second person, it's an amazing example of an entirely new species of dramatic irony, something I'm going to call second person pronoun paradoxical autodramatic irony. You are now aware of information that you're not aware of. This should be fun.
Okay, whatever tongue twister that was. All right, so now we have another choice. So we're going to give you more time. We realize there's a 20-second delay. So Judy and I will just fill the time because we can talk about anything.
Yeah.
So we'll fill the time and give you some more time to type in your answer. So you have two choices. First choice is accept that you died of a heart attack. So that's option one. Option two, Listen in on people's conversations and see if any of them talk about how they totally killed you.
Ah,
We don't want to
right.
accept that you don't have a heart attack, or listen in on people's conversations.
You notice and find out who killed you. Because
I
otherwise, what would you do if you just accept you die of a heart attack? Just go play the
I
lute
kind of
somewhere
feel like
in
this
death?
is what I can I order this in advance? Like I would like to say before I die, I'd like to order this in advance. I would
Yes.
like to be able to come and listen to what
Yes.
people say about you.
Mhm. That's what's the other point of having a funeral?
Yeah.
To
How can you
other than you
prepay
come
in
back and
advance
listen.
for that? Like I
Yeah.
don't necessarily need to be a ghost. I don't want to haunt people,
I know,
but I
do.
would love to be able to go around and just hear what people say.
Mhm.
You know,
I don't want to haunt them forever, but just enough to like be like, you know, the people I love be like, hey, you dropped a $10 bill. And the people that annoy me, I'd be like, poke, poke, poke. And they won't know what's happening.
that's very true.
Scott said we need more time to vote, but we are
Yes.
voting. All right. So has anyone voted yet? All right. Scott voted for people's conversations. Anyone else have a vote? And if you want to beat out Scott, give us some money. Just saying. All right.
We got two.
Okay,
votes.
we've got two votes. All right.
We it's not like we didn't sway you or anything, did we?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not to pick a more interesting choice, which you did though. Good on you.
I think that if you did that, accepted, we probably would have ended the story. So, you know. Okay. So you hang around Norway for a bit, trying to listen in on what people are saying. But they're all speaking Norwegian, of course. You only speak Danish. So understanding Norwegian is a little bit difficult. It all sounds like Swedish to you, which actually makes a lot of sense since Danish and Norwegian and Swedish are all related North Germanic languages.
Mhm.
Descended from early linguistic differentiation between regular Germanic speakers and North Germanic speakers around 200 AD. I'm sure
Everybody
you
knows
knew that,
that.
Judy. Absolutely.
Everybody knows that.
So you nod your head, agreeing that all of this is both accurate and extremely interesting.
Yes.
While these three languages are generally supposed to be mutually intelligible, you find you can understand Norwegian speakers only if you're concentrating, well, which you are, and if they're speaking slowly and clearly, which they're not, as everyone is running around upset about war and all these kings getting killed. Ironically, Norwegian speakers can understand Danish easier than Danish speakers understand Norwegian. But that doesn't help you much. That would only be useful if you were playing as the Norwegian king whose ghost had stowed away on your army's boat headed back to Denmark. But I haven't given you that option, even though it would be extremely awesome. If you're wondering what happens to this vengeful, ghost king, I can tell you only this. The answer exists in your imagination. Ooh! You did the same thing. But here's the good news. It turns out written Danish and written Norwegian are actually pretty similar. So you spend the next several nights haunting people, of course, who wouldn't, quietly reading their diaries while they sleep peacefully in their beds. And you don't know this, but ghosts do this all the time.
Ew.
Ghosts just love sneaking a peek at the secrets of the living.
Ooh.
It takes a while, but you finally find the diary of someone who wrote on the day you died that she was wandering by a garden, minding her own business, when she saw some Danish guy pour something in some other Danish guy's ear. Hey, that sounds like that could have been what happened to you. But remember, you don't know that's exactly what happened to you because of that new irony we invented.
Which everybody knows now, and I'm not going to repeat the name of. Right. All right, we got three choices now. Wake up this person and ask her about it. Or wake up this person and hold a piece of paper where you've written down a question asking her about it. So do you talk to her or write to her? Talk or write, talk or write, talk or write.
So while you guys are typing your answer, talk or write, we would just like to tell you about some cool things that you can do to help Chapel Street.
Yeah.
So if you remember last year's Do More 24 campaign, we introduced the Capital campaign where we were selling seats to our new theater. And we, where you could buy a seat for the new theater, and you could put your name on it, or you could put anything you want on it. You get a little plaque, and it would go on the back of the seat. So that is still an option. So you could buy a chair for our new theater for $1,000. Now, if that's not in your budget, which we totally understand, there are some other things that you can do.
Right.
So you can buy
a brick. Yeah, the whole house is made of bricks, and when they smash it down, we're going to grab a bunch. and stencil on them, like, the name and the dates of our occupancy of the building. And that is actually $100, but for Do More 24 listeners, you can get it for 80. Just saying, it'd be awesome.
Yep. Discount until this evening.
Yeah.
So
yep.
You might want to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
The third thing you can do, so if you've always wanted to be on stage
mm-hmm.
and just never thought you could do it, right? Didn't have the whatever, confidence, whatever. Well, you can get a piece of Chapel Street stage. How cool is that? So again, as we're knocking things down, we're going to cut a little bit of the stage and put some information on it. And you can get an actual piece of Chapel Street stage. So normally that would be $50, but during Do More 24, it'll be $40. So you get some great discounts during Do More 24, and you get a cool piece of our building for your donation.
Okay, so we flipped a coin since nobody cares. I feel hurt a little bit, but okay. We're going to wake up this person and we're going to ask her about her diary entry, okay?
Okay.
Whose turn is it to read?
Oh, no. Okay.
You bang some pots and pans together until she wakes up. Hey, I'm a ghost, but not anyone you know. Listen, tell me more about that garden murder you saw, you say. In response, the woman looks at you terrified. She says something in Norwegian, and you suddenly feel dumb. You're already a spooky ghost, but now you're a spooky ghost talking to her in a language she doesn't even know. Anyway, by the time you find a piece of paper and write down, hey, I don't want to kill you, it's too late. The woman has run out of the room, and every time she sees you, she gets mad and throws something at you and leaves. You kind of blew it here, King Hamlet. You keep reading her diary every night for a few months, hoping that she'll mention more about the things she saw, but it's mostly filled with some really personal stuff about her feelings, and you kind of feel honestly creepy about this whole situation. That stuff isn't personal. It's about how she wonders if ghosts read diaries, and if they do, if they know what totally awful people they're being. Long story short, eventually you leave her alone, never find out who murdered you, and settle down to a nice, pleasant afterlife with the other ghosts in Ghost Norway. You guys do charades with each other and everything. It's pretty fun.
Oh, okay.
And that was that. Bad choice. That was a flip of the coin, though. So now, why don't we see if we can play a commercial explaining more about all that fun stuff we said you could buy, and...
As part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are offering a special incentive for our Chapel Street patrons, volunteers, and friends. As many of you have heard, CSP is working with Lang Development to build us a brand new theater. And even better news, it has plenty of parking. The plans continue to move forward, and we hope to inform you soon when we will be breaking ground at the new site. Last year, we started our Take a Seat campaign, and this was wildly successful, and seats are still available. This year, we have added 2 new items as part of the campaign for you to buy. One feature of our building that makes it stand out from the surrounding homes are the bricks. After we move, this building will be replaced, and some of you may want a piece of Chapel Street to keep as a memory. We are announcing a new Pick a Brick campaign. You can help CSP pave the way to a new theater by picking a brick from the old theater for $100. We will stencil onto each brick Chapel Street Theater 1969 to 2024, which are the years this little brick building was our home. As part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are offering a special price, and you can pick a brick for only $80. Another place in our theater that holds many memories and layers of paint is our stage. The current stage was replaced a little over 20 years ago, and we have seen many volunteers tread these boards, and we want to give you the opportunity to share the stage with our actors. We are announcing the Share the Stage campaign, and you can buy a piece of our stage. It will be at least 8 inches by 8 inches and will have a label so you will always know that this came from Chapel Street and the years we were in this space. For the Share the Stage campaign, the pieces of the stage will cost $50, but for the Do More 24, you can get your part of the stage for $40. When you donate during Do More 24, please indicate if you would like a brick, a piece of the stage, or for $120, you can get both. We thank you in advance for your generosity, and we would also like to thank Do More 24, Spur Impact, and the United Way of Delaware, along with the many sponsors who are giving additional incentives and bonuses during this event. And finally, we would like to thank the Delaware Division of the Arts for their continued support of artists across the state of Delaware and to Chapel Street Players.
Okay, welcome back. Yeah. So we're going to start again. And Michelle Opaleski gets to make the choice this time. Thank you so much, Michelle, for donating. We already did Hamlet Senior, and that didn't turn out well for anyone, did it? So, Michelle, you get to choose between Ophelia and Hamlet, whichever one you want. Now, I know there's a 20-second delay, so I have to say, I kind of want a piece of the stage, mostly because for years I have painted that floor, and I want to know, like, is there a cross section, like a tree ring? Can you see the paint when we cut through it? I'm curious.
Years and years of paint. I mean, it seems like every single show they paint more of the stage.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of cool to see what's there.
Oh, and Michelle wants to be Ophelia. Excellent choice, my lady. So let us play as Ophelia.
Right. You're Ophelia. You are beautiful and independent young woman. Right. Of course we are. And although it makes you roll your eyes when you think about it, you've fallen in love with a prince. Prince Hamlet is funny and charming, and he seems to like you a lot. You try not to get too excited about it because you're worried you might jinx it. But things really are going great.
Yay.
Only it's been hard doing the long distance thing while you're both off at university, and while you've loved studying capital S science, and you're sure Hamlet loves studying capital U undeclared. It hasn't been easy. Now that you're both back together in Denmark for his father's funeral and his mother's second wedding, it's been harder still. Hamlet's really sad, and you can't blame him for that since, his dad died. But you wish there was something you could do to help him. When you last saw him, Hamlet mentioned how the castle seemed cold and drafty, and for some reason, it stuck with you. You've been sitting at your desk trying to think of something you could give him that would help with that. A way of cheering him up a little, remind him he's still got people who care about him. He wears these cloaks all the time, but then he's taking them off in warm rooms and putting them back on in cold ones. If only there were a way you could keep the rooms at a uniform temperature. He wouldn't need to be constantly adjusting his clothes throughout the day. But to do that, you'd need some way of measuring heat and a way of transporting it throughout the castle, perhaps through a series of pipes. Now your thoughts are interrupted by a knock at your door. Who is it? You call. It's me, says your brother. Come on, let me in.
So, easy question. Do you let him in or do you tell him you're busy? Yes. Michelle Cullen gets to make the next decision. Thank you, whoever donated for her.
I secretly donated while we were talking.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I
I'm
thought
that good at it.
I thought it, and then it happened.
I know, I need to buy that stage piece still. All right.
Well, before I make my decision, we wanted to give you an update. So we are up to 4,015.
Yay!
Which is amazing since, just during the time we were talking. So our goal is 10,000 and we are moving ever closer. So thank you all who have donated. Thank you so much. And if you can't donate, that's okay. Just listen and have fun. And hey, you can also vote. You don't need to give us money to vote, but
you should.
We will pick, we will defer to those who do.
All right. So Michelle, do you want to let him in or tell him you're busy?
I'm thinking that maybe I'm going to tell him that I'm busy.
Okay. Bugger off, brother of mine.
Well, let's hope it doesn't end. But.
Yeah. Okay. I'm busy, you shout through the door to Laertes. I'm leaving for France soon, he shouts back. Don't you want to say goodbye? Apparently not, you shout in reply. Whatever, Laertes yells. He storms off, stomping all the way. You sit in silence for a moment. He stomps back. Say bye to Dad for me, okay? He shouts. Okay, I will, you yell through the door. He storms off again. To France, I guess? Ugh, brothers, am I right? Ugh.
Never had a brother, so.
Yeah, I had done. So, you don't really get a choice. You got to go back to work. Return to your work. Okay.
It's telling us what to do.
I don't like that. What's the choice when there's only one choice? That's an order.
Okay. So at your desk, you continue your work on the problem of automatically heating the castle. Hours turn into days, and you're generally left alone by both your family and your boyfriend. Your father, ignoring you is no big deal, and while you're a little worried about Hamlet not stopping by more often, he has asked you to leave him alone for a while he mourns, and you're respecting his wishes. But if you're going to be honest with yourself, you've also just gotten really absorbed into this problem. So you decide to split the problem into sections: delivering heat and knowing when to deliver heat. Genius. It would be possible to put servants in every room and have them report when it's too cold. But that's both expensive and unreliable. It depends on the servant, the warmth of their clothes, how much they love to lie to people, which probably everybody, and about what temperature their skin is sensing, and so on. Lots of variables. You're wandering the castle grounds when it hits you. You've been thinking about how water expands when it freezes and how that could be used to tell you when it's cold. But it's not much use for measuring temperatures outside the freezing point. Your father, Polonius, happens to wander by, talking to himself about the evils of drink, of course, and you realize alcohol. The right alcohol would expand linearly with heat. And by putting it in a slender glass vial, you could measure the size of that liquid, which would correspond 1-to-1 with the temperature.
Fascinating.
Put the same markings on each side of the glass vials at the same temperatures, and you've got a universal, comparable, and consistent way of measuring heat. Genius.
Yes.
You wouldn't have to rely on a servant's impression. I mean, they could just tell you what line, and they could tell you what line the alcohol's reached.
Yeah.
You run back to your room to start working on the prototype. Just as you complete it, you hear another knock at your door. Who is it? You call. And oh my, who should answer from the other side of the door? Seriously, who should answer from the other side of the door? Who should answer from the other side of the door?
Oh my gosh, we got 3 choices. Your boyfriend Hamlet, your father Polonius, or your best friend, good God, Dramasiamimus. Yeah, I believe that one. So that's a 1, 2, or 3 option. Hamlet, Polonius, or Dramasiamimus. So
yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to cut that short. We're just dramas.
Dramas,
You're drumming. You're dramas now.
You're
Sorry.
dramatic. That's what you are. Yeah. So type in H for Hamlet, P for Polonius, D for and and I gotta order my piece of the stage while I get credit for it though. How do I do that? I gotta go to the website. Yeah.
So when you go to the Do More 24, which you can get to from Chapel Street's website, or you could do scan to donate by holding your camera up to the QR code there. It'll take you directly to the donate page.
Excellent.
When you choose Chapel Street to donate to, there will be a question. You get a whole bunch of radio buttons, right? Radio buttons that you can choose from. One of them says, I'd like to give in honor of or in memory of. So when you click that little button, it gives you a box. And then you could put that you want to donate it for bricks. You could put stage. Or if you saw, that I can't
forgot my password. All right, this may take a little while. Sorry.
You could also, if you saw last night's variety show, you could also put someone's name in and give in honor of them, and it will go towards our little competition we have about the variety show. So whichever of the performers get the most number of donations in their name wins a little prize from Chapel Street. So it looks like we have a vote.
Oh, excellent. Drama. We're talking to our friend Drama.
Yeah, drama.
That's taking off. It's Hamlet at the door anyway. That's all right. Turns out that simply wishing for someone to be at your door doesn't change who's actually there. You don't control reality with your thoughts, Ophelia.
You don't?
Sheesh, no. Anyway, Hamlet opens the door and steps into your room. It's me, he says. You haven't seen each other for a while, so it's great to see him. You run up and throw your arms around him and you smooch. It's just like old times. But the moment passes, and when you look at his face, you can see concern written all over it. He's troubled by something. So,
Another decision point.
yes, are you going to ask him what's troubling him, or are you just going to wait for him to tell you? Are you going to be passive aggressive or just aggressive? Because that's your choice as a woman. So
ask him or just wait. Ask him, wait. Ask him, wait.
Ask him, wait.
And while Judy is trying to figure out her password to the Doomer 24, there is another way that you can help Chapel Street. So I know we've mentioned many times that we are moving to a new theater, and it's quite exciting. But I'm sure if you've ever moved house, you know what it's like to move your house. So imagine a huge theater that has, I can't even tell you how many props, costumes, flats, lights. I mean, we just have
junk that nobody knows,
stuff everywhere.
Boxes of keys everyone's afraid to throw out.
So we have a lot of stuff. And yes, we have been in the building for quite a long time. So who knows what we will find hidden in all the little crevices of the old building.
It's true.
So we need help. We need help with people going through all of the stuff, helping to make decisions about what we do, packing things up. So you don't necessarily need to be able to carry things. Like, yes, we will have some people we will need who can lift boxes.
We do need people to carry
but
things.
We do.
Not
but we also need people to do many other things, administrative stuff, maybe just organizing things, organizing people. So you can donate your time if you have time to do so. There is a volunteer survey on our website. You can click on the volunteer tab, and it asks you a bunch of questions about what you're interested in, how much time you have to give, any unique and special skills. And then we are collecting all of that information, and soon, we promise soon.
We're meeting next Tuesday.
Okay, perfect. So we are going to then reach out to the people who filled it out and start getting people to work. So it is something that you can do if, if you can't donate some money, maybe that is something you can do. Maybe you can do both, and that would be fantastic.
That's the best thing, honestly.
Yes.
It takes both. Okay. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. We need your money and we need your muscles.
Yeah.
And if you have money and muscles, I need your phone number too.
And so the information about moving is on our website as well. And you can see the video of Renee O'Leary talking about the history of Chapel Street and also showing you where our new site is and so on. So there's all kinds of information if you haven't already heard.
We did. Awesome.
I believe that Michelle Oboleski has asked us to aggressively ask him.
Hey, what's going on? All right, it's your turn to ask.
All right. You ask him what's wrong aggressively. And there's no other way to put this, so I'll give it to you straight. Hamlet tells you about a spooky ghost and a plan for murdering his stepfather, Claudius, pretender to the throne. I'll be frank, it sounds crazy. A ghost? Murder? Okay. But he is your friend and lover, and you're not going to tell him to leave. And you're not going to leave him, hanging out to dry. As gently as you can, you tell him you're pretty sure ghosts don't exist. But even if they do, he needs to be certain that the ghost he saw was actually the ghost of his father. I mean, what if it's some other ghost just trying to mess things up? Because that's what ghosts do.
Ghosts are nasty.
So that seems to give him pause. Hamlet admits he never actually asked the ghost for information. Only his dad would know. It's possible the ghost could be an imposter. Dun, dun, dun. I'll come with you tonight, sweetie, you say. We'll go together. And if a ghost shows up, we'll figure out what to do. You're confident no ghost will appear and that this will all just go away. You take his hand and squeeze. Hamlet looks up to you, and you can see his relief. Okay, he says, smiling.
Yeah. So we go see the ghost that evening. Again, this is not a choice when there's only one choice.
Only one choice. It has a delay.
Okay. Evening comes, and Hamlet leads you to the spot outside where he first saw the ghost. We have to wait till around midnight, he says. I think that's when he normally shows up. To pass the time, you play a storytelling game you enjoy where you say one word of a story and he says the next word, and neither of you know where the story will go. Once you begin upon, he says, you say. Time, he says. There, you say. Was, he says. You say. Beautiful, he says, looking at you. You smile. Prince, you reply, and he smiles back. Who, he says. What did you say? To, he says. Kiss, you say. His girlfriend, he says. That's cheating, you say, and then you're kissing. So, do you just make out for a while, or do you not make out because you can't believe you're thinking about this, but what if a ghost catches you making out? Ooh. So, make out or not? Yes or no? Put it in there, all right? Now, look, I finally got myself in here, and I had to find my cause, which is a small nonprofit.
Okay, so we did have a donation, but we will wait for Judy to figure out to donate. So I was just thinking that the idea of ghosts being able to like see what you're doing is kind of freaky. Like, if you believe in ghosts, and that they can see you. Like, wouldn't you be like afraid to ever, like
take a shower?
Pick your nose or something.
Pick your nose
because somebody's watching you at all times, like Big Brother.
Yeah. That would be bad. Like in
1984,
which was an awesome play we did. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, Chapel Street Players.
Amazing
donating.
Director right here.
Yep. Amazing stage manager / general odds body. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to use old fashioned language. I don't. Do we have a vote yet?
Yes, there was a vote that you get to choose the next one, but I wanted to make sure you had the time to buy your
Oh,
brick.
right. Yeah, no. I'm not going to make out because now Michelle has me creeped out about the fact that a ghost could be watching me make out with my boyfriend, Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. So, yeah, we're going to not make out anymore. Also, to keep him, on the leash. So you turn your, it's your turn to read.
That's okay.
No, go.
Okay. You turn your head away after a few smooches. That's enough, you say. We don't want your dad catching us making out. Hamlet grins and pulls you close to him. I think he'd be cool with it, he says. That's a weird thing to say, but you excuse it because people can say some really weird things when they're way horny. You kiss some more, but finally you push him away for real this time. Like, enough.
No means no.
What makes you think he wants to spend the afterlife watching us make out, you say? Well, if it's what I'd want to do, he says with a smile. I mean, if it were me and I was the ghost, he explains. You're about to reply when you're interrupted by an awkward cough coming from above you. Looking up, you see what for all the world looks like Hamlet's dad. Hamlet Sr., only he's transparent and floating and you can see through his bod. What? Hey guys, the ghost says. You're too shocked to say anything. Ghosts are real, Ophelia. Surprise! Hamlet looks up at the ghost and waves. Hi, Dad, he says.
So, do you demand the ghost prove that he's who he claims to be? Because Ophelia was suspicious. Or it doesn't matter who he is. The real question is this: if this ghost is so big into murdering dudes, why doesn't he just murder Claudius himself? Riddle him that, Batman. Hamlet. So, demand that he prove not. That's your question. All right, definitely. Look, I'm getting closer to being able to buy something. I'm going to donate now. I'm going to donate other because $40 isn't in there and I'm cheap. Plus, I might want to donate. I'm going to say I'm a new donor. Yes, I want to make this in honor of someone else, and I want the honor in memory of stage piece. Yeah, that's what I'm putting so that they know I want a stage piece.
See, it's pretty easy, right, Judy?
Yeah.
Pretty easy to.
Oh, it wants my age range. Hell no.
You don't have to do any of those other buttons. Right. You don't have to fill any of those other things.
Else, you just donate now. Add to cart, and I'm getting a piece of the stage so I can see how much of it's paint and how much of it's really stage.
Now, there is an anonymous button, but if you choose a brick or a stage and you put anonymous, it's going to be kind of hard for us to give you that brick.
Yeah, because we just,
Yeah, so that might be kind of hard.
We could,
but if you wanted to give money for just general reasons and you want to do anonymously, you can.
Right.
So the question is, do we demand that the ghost prove who he claims to be? So he's claiming to be Hamlet Sr. Okay.
But that was Ophelia's question.
Right. So do we demand he tell us? Or, does it not really matter? Because, after all, ghosts are ghosts. And why doesn't he just go and kill Claudius himself? So it's either we demand that he proves it or he No, we don't.
We don't.
We don't.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
I guess we just don't do anything.
Right.
So, what do you guys think? We're gonna demand.
I will go with demand. That's a nice aggressive thing to do, Ophelia. Excuse me, you say. The ghost pretends not to hear
They're
you.
good about that.
Yeah, I know. Like so are many meetings. Excuse me, Mr. Ghost, you inquire, raising your hand. So, says the ghost. How do we know you're really Hamlet Senior, you ask. Oh, says the ghost. Oh, I guess ask me some things only Hamlet's dad would know. You do so. They're pretty boring questions about family junk. You're not missing out on anything by my not including them here. Like where's the silverware? Ugh. And the ghost answers them perfectly. Better still, he answers them as only Hamlet Sr. could answer them. And even makes a reference to a running joke you two had a few months ago. I can't gobble this, said the ghost. And then together the two of you shout, it's too spicy. And then you're laughing like what you just said is the funniest thing ever in time. I don't get it. I guess you had to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this is totally the ghost of Hamlet's dad. Identity confirmed.
Haha.
Right. So now.
Oh, we don't have a choice. We
Nope.
just talk about the murder. So.
All right, let's talk about this murder.
So you go over the basics of the murder plot with the ghost and Hamlet. And surprise, you see some flaws in it that Hamlet somehow missed. So Hamlet is supposed to murder Claudius, you say. Yes. Hamlet and the ghost reply in unison. They then notice they've replied in unison and fist bump each other. Well, the ghost's fists go through Hamlet's fist and stop a little inside it, but you can see what they were going for. Anyway. And then Claudius will be dead and Hamlet will be king, you say. Yes, Hamlet and the ghost reply in unison again. And then they fist bump each other again. Okay. Oh, we missed it.
Yeah.
And it's even more off this time. How did we know? Okay. They're not even aligned horizontally with each other. Come on, guys. Get it together. Yeah, Judy, let's get it together.
I did that on
So-
purpose. Get ahead.
So what's to prevent Claudius from becoming a ghost and seeking his own revenge, you say, raising one eyebrow?
I can't do that well.
Says the ghost. In fact, can ghosts kill each other? Because then the best case for us is that one of you ghost kills the other and then considers himself revenged. Worst case is that you can't kill each other, but instead exist as ghosts forever, which means that the two of you, each with an endless list of sins from long before anyone left alive was born, will continue to meddle in the living world, revenging yourself against each other back and forth for millennia to come. I think the ghost begins and then coughs. I think you only become a ghost under certain circumstances. Like being murdered when you still have things you want to complete on this mortal plane, you ask? Right. That'd apply to Claudius too, the ghost says. Huh.
All right. So do we continue talking the ghost out of murder? Because really, is that right to murder? Or do we make a counter argument for murder being a good idea? Because it could be fun.
So I think this time we should have one of our amazing producers choose. So
I think
Brian
so,
or Peter should choose. And so the choices again are we continue trying
Where's
to
the
convince the ghost not to murder or counter argument. So Brian has asked for a counter argument.
Excellent. We're going to make a counter argument for murder being a good idea. On the other hand, you say, meeting the gazes of both Hamlet and the ghost, the greatest proof of immortal ghosts that aren't possible. I'm sorry, I messed that up completely. I'm starting all over again. Just consider me Adele. All right. On the other hand, you say, meeting the gazes of both Hamlet and the ghost, the greatest proof that immortal ghosts aren't possible is that we're not overrun with them right now. The ghost blinks. He hadn't considered that. You're the first ghost I've seen, Hamlet Sr., and if ghosts lived forever, I expect I'd have already been bothered by caveman ghosts long ago, each of them demanding that I go smash in some other caveman's descendant's head to make up for when they got their head smashed in hundreds of generations before I was even born. Old hatreds lasting forever, ancient slights never forgotten, the embarrassing prejudice of our grandparents multiplied 1,000 times. You trail off, imagining how frustrating it'd be to explain to an angry and confused and immortal pre-linguistic caveman who can walk through walls how to better cope with, say, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes. Right, says the ghost, considerably cheered. He holds up one finger. So, either immortal ghosts have better things to do with their time, which is good, he says. Then he holds up a second finger. Or, I'm the first immortal ghost, which is good because then they're really unlikely, and we can't expect that Claudius would be the second one. He pauses and holds up a third finger. Or I'm going to ghost die someday, which is bad. Not that bad, you say. After all, you've died once before and you came through it all right. You can float now. True, says the ghost. Okay, so are you guys in or what? Will you murder Claudius and avenge my death? So are you in or are you out? It's that simple. So Brian chose, so can Peter choose? Dude, you in, you down? Ride or die? Or just ride out of here? Which is it?
So you know what I was thinking during that thing?
Mm-hmm.
When she talks about caveman.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember there was a cartoon?
Captain Caveman!
Captain Caveman! So I don't know why my brain went there, but then I kept singing the Captain Caveman thing in my head and I missed the whole second half of the story. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Captain
that's
Caveman.
all right. Michelle wants us to kill him. And I say, let's do it. We're in. All right.
Oh, okay. We're in. So yes, let's definitely murder someone. All right. We're in, you say. Aren't we, Hamlet? Hamlet nods, and the two of us will avenge you, Father, he says solemnly. Neato, replies the ghost. 2 heads are better than one, right? Okay, well, I'm going to go now. Be sure to let me know when he's dead. His transparent body is turning to leave when you realize something. Wait, you shout, and the ghost stops. You can become invisible and walk around places, right? Float in the sky whenever you want, all that kind of stuff. Totes, says the ghost. Okay, well, can you do some reconnaissance for us? Follow Claudius around. Let us know his habits. If we're going to kill him, it'd help to know where he usually hangs out.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you need to know where he
She's
is.
so smart, Ophelia.
That's easy. He gets drunk in the same tavern every night, the ghost says. Then he goes home and falls asleep. He did like naps.
Yeah, naps are good.
The ghost looks at you. If I were you, I'd kill him while he's drunk and asleep, he says and disappears. Well, that's clever.
Easy.
You and Hamlet are left staring at each other. Okay. Well, let's make a list of all the ways to kill a dude. All the ways to kill a dude. You and Hamlet spend the next few days making up just such a list together. And now it's done. It's pretty cool. You should probably look at it.
Yeah.
It's kind of morbid too.
Yeah, but that's all right. It's a bonding thing. So let's examine this list, okay? This list of Claudius. Ways to Murder a King by Ophelia and Hamlet. Poison in the air. Done before. We know how it works.
Yep.
Stabs. Oh, not always fatal. I saw a guy get stabbed in the leg and then pull out the sword. It was awesome, said Hamlet. Stabs in the eye. Always fatal, probably. Suffocation. Easy if Claudius is sleeping. Hard if Claudius is awake and not wanting to suffocate. But easy again if Claudia is in outer space. That was Ophelia's comment.
Mm-hmm.
Drowning. That requires water. Explosion. That requires an explosion. Implosion. Even harder, but might be fun. Bladder explosion. Requires water, no bathroom, and social pressure. Old age. Requires patience and a liberal definition of the word murder. Murder him, but just make it look like old age. Requires makeup. Get him to read a book that's just like the murder he committed, and then he'll get nervous and confirm his guilt, and then we can stab him. That requires a book. Also seems like stabs would be easier, says Ophelia. Mm-hmm. Make him accidentally pass a law that says he has to be murdered before the law can be repealed. Note, Hamlet insists that we put this here because it's crazy enough to work, says Ophelia. Blast him into space, which the ghost came back while we were writing this to explain it is a vast vacuum where there's no air. See suffocation. Looking over the list, you decided to trim it down a little before making a choice. You come up with a short list of serious contenders. Stabs, as it's the simplest, and there's swords here like everywhere. Drowning, as you think you can make it look like an accident. Blast him into space because Hamlet insists on it. And also the stupid book one because, again, Hamlet insists on it. Hamlet's pretty satisfied with the list. Your call, Ophelia, he says. What do you choose?
Ooh.
So,
Do we really get to choose how we kill someone?
I know. We do. So we can stab him, drown him, blast him into space, get him to read a book that's just like the murder he committed, and then he'll get nervous and confess, and then we can stab him. So those are 4 choices. So let us know what you think we should do. Definitely, because if not, we don't have a way to do 4 choices. We only do dice. Brian picks blast into space. That sounds like fun. Let's do that. All right, it's your turn. Blast him into space.
Awesome. I'm so glad you chose this option.
Me too. I love it. Thanks, Brian.
Awesome, Hamlet says. I'm glad you chose this option.
Okay.
He read our minds.
He did,
basically. Yeah. So wow, it seems everyone is down with this course of action, Ophelia.
Yay.
Okay, so space travel hasn't been invented yet. I mean, silly little thing. If it ever will be, I don't know because I'm from history too.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a bit tricky. You and Hamlet spend most of your time trying to invent rocket ships. But this is with old-timey technology, which is like tarps and stuff. So needless to say, it doesn't work. However, a few months into your research, you begin to think that if you can't reach the stars, second best isn't so bad.
Yeah.
And so you and Hamlet get Claudius drunk, put him in a giant wicker basket, attached to a hot air balloon, which is the thing you did manage to invent.
Yay.
Then you send him so far up, he suffocates to death in the thin air up there. Yeah. And then the balloon explodes due to low atmospheric pressure, of course. And then when his body hits the ground, it explodes too. So I guess the saying is wrong after all. And really, revenge is a dish best served at slightly below body temperature. Drop from a great height and observe from a safe distance.
Mm-hmm.
If only we could show you the picture.
I know. It's fun. All right. That was the end of that long Ophelia
It was
story.
fun.
Yeah,
And
so thank you.
In the end, they sort of did all of them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, they didn't actually have to pick because they got the explosion and
they got the suffocation. And they didn't stab, but let's pretend he landed on a jagged rock.
Right.
And
I'm sure that would have
him.
happened.
Yeah. I think only the one that was like in the play was like the reading the book and that making him nervous. But then, still get stabbed by a rock that we're supposing is there when he falls from the heavens, So our current amount, $4,220. So thank you all for donating.
That's awesome.
Yes. So, and again, if you like this, let us know because there's another one for Romeo and Juliet we could do next year. If not, we got to think of something else. And it's hard to think of stuff to do with these sort of things. So
yeah, but we do like doing these. So we had a lot of fun last year. Judy and I did the Let's Talk About Backstage since she and I have done every backstage job there is combined. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we probably still have a lot we could talk about in that situation. Yes. So if you think that would be kind of cool, we can do that again.
Oh, hey, Nicole. I didn't know you were here. Hi, Nicole.
But if you thought this was fun, like Judy said, there's Romeo and Juliet, and it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
So,
and if you want to work through all of them, again, it's by Ryan North. You can get it on Amazon. That's how we did it.
It's called To Be or Not to Be. Mm-hmm. So it's not called Choose Your Own Danish Adventure, but that was us. That was us. It is called To Be or Not to Be by Ryan North. Mm-hmm. And it's really reasonable. So it's not an expensive book. So I think it would be really fun, especially if kids, I think it would be fun. Now, some of the words, you're going to have to change, but I think it would be fun for tweens.
Yeah. And then the nice thing is too, if you buy the electronic version, you can go back. Because when I was a kid and I used to do the Choose Your Own Adventures, I would try to go backwards to I would read the back and find the ending I wanted and then try to figure out the path to get there because I'm a natural cheater. So that's what I would do. So you can easily say like, oh no, I don't want to be dead. And go back and try the other version, which is also a lot of fun.
Remember before technology, you actually had to go, it said go to page 50 and you'd flip, and then we go to 75 and you're like flipping all throughout the book. It's kind of crazy. This is awesome. You just click on it and it takes you there.
Magic.
Super easy.
Yes, super easy. All right. So again, we want to thank the M&T Bank for hosting the Fuel Up Power Hour, and hopefully you had some Danishes or a nice salad, whatever you're into these days, and had a nice lunch with us, and we enjoy you spending the time with us. Give us your money, all of it, or as much as you can.
We'll just give you all of the different things that you can buy before we end.
Yes.
And they'll probably play the little commercial, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the chair for $1,000, you can get a brick for $80, but it will be $100 after this evening. A piece of the stage for $40, but it'll be $50 after this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Or of course, you can just give any amount. If you saw the virtual variety show, which you can still watch, right? Peter or Brian, please confirm that you can go and watch it if you weren't able to watch it last night, and you can donate in honor of one of the performers. And if you do that, what we do is we count up all of the donations, not dollar amount, but number. And whichever performer gets the most number, they get a little prize. So you would put in honor of in your donation, and you would put their name.
Right.
Now,
or you could just write like the name of the piece, like Traces of Memory.
Yeah. Oh, you could.
Traces of Memory.
It's not like Judy and I did something last night.
No.
So we don't want to.
And not like I never win anything. Just saying.
We don't want to be partial and tell you to vote for Judy and Michelle. But if you don't know, right?
You can't know.
You can just say Judy and Michelle, because I'm sure it was fabulous, because we're fabulous.
So awesome.
So just put our little name in.
You couldn't even tell we were reading it. I know. That was the truth. We were reading
So
it.
we have until 3 p.m. to vote for, if you're going to vote for one of the performers.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it. We're going to then show you all of the clips to understand the bricks and all of that, since we didn't do a really good job of that, and also remind you how to donate again. So thank you so much for participating. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, so much.
So have a good day, everybody.
Bye.
And watch this little video.
Thanks, Emity.
As part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are offering a special incentive for our Chapel Street patrons, volunteers, and friends. As many of you have heard, CSP is working with Lang Development to build us a brand new theater. And even better news, it has plenty of parking. The plans continue to move forward, and we hope to inform you soon when we will be breaking ground at the new site. Last year, we started our Take a Seat campaign, and this was wildly successful, and seats are still available. This year, we have added 2 new items as part of the campaign for you to buy. One feature of our building that makes it stand out from the surrounding homes are the bricks. After we move, this building will be replaced, and some of you may want a piece of Chapel Street to keep as a memory. We are announcing a new Pick a Brick campaign. You can help CSP pave the way to a new theater by picking a brick from the old theater for $100. We will stencil onto each brick Chapel Street Theater 1969 to 2024, which are the years this little brick building was our home. As part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are offering a special price, and you can pick a brick for only $80. Another place in our theater that holds many memories and layers of paint is our stage. The current stage was replaced a little over 20 years ago, and we have seen many volunteers tread these boards, and we want to give you the opportunity to share the stage with our actors. We are announcing the Share the Stage campaign, and you can buy a piece of our stage. It will be at least 8 inches by 8 inches, and will have a label so you will always know that this came from Chapel Street and the years we were in this space. For the Share the Stage campaign, the pieces of the stage will cost $50. But for the Do More 24, you can get your part of the stage for $40. When you donate during Do More 24, please indicate if you would like a brick, a piece of the stage, or for $120, you can get both. We thank you in advance for your generosity, and we would also like to thank Do More 24, Spur Impact, and the United Way of Delaware, along with the many sponsors who are giving additional incentives and bonuses during this event. And finally, we would like to thank the Delaware Division of the Arts for their continued support of artists across the state of Delaware and to Chapel Street players.